Hello, it's Dan, the real estate guy. We're in one of the location shoots today. We're at a property on Walnut, Pointe. It's a little area in Carmichael. You might recall from an earlier video, we saw this when it was in progress. It's pretty much done now and ready for the market. I'm standing on a brand new tile floor where in the past, this was a really ugly laminate floor that was kind of coming apart. All right, so we went ahead and we went tile. We don't always do tile, but often when you get your bids, you'll find out that tile isn't that much more than a high quality linoleum, yet I find people like the tile. This already had tile countertops. The appliances, when we got it, were a mess. They didn't even look like we could save them, but they were saved, they look sharp, and they're in pretty good shape. Now let's go over the numbers of this transaction. Remember, in my training process, we're always going to use real deals with real numbers, no theory. Now, it doesn't really matter which method I use to purchase this property. In every marketplace, there's going to be different methods that will allow you to buy wholesale or well below retail value. Those methods that I'm going to teach you in the videos, there's 14 different ones. I'm going to show you how you can find out which one's working in your marketplace. This happened to be purchased at a trustee sale. And remember, I told you beginners, that's not the place for a beginner, yet you can still tie into those sales safely. To actually work them like the pros would be a bit dangerous for you at this stage of your real estate career, so to speak. So I watch people lose money at those auctions on a regular basis. I don't want you to lose your money. But there is a way you could plug in. I'm going to give you an example right now. I purchased this property for $159,000. Might have been $159,500, but it was right around $159,000. I was the successful bidder on this property. I don't remember if I had very many bidders against me on this one. But the reason I purchased this property at the trustee sale is I was pretty sure I could get $219,900 for it. And the way I reasoned that was, this is Carmichael. In the greater Sacramento area, Carmichael is one of the more desirable areas. Most of Carmichael is older. I purchased this property because it was built a lot newer. Let's see if I can find, 1995. What I have in front of me is the county record. It was built in 1995. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It does have 1,390 square feet. Now, in Carmichael right now, the dollar per square foot that you could probably get on the retail market is somewhere between $150 to $170 a square foot, depending on the year built and the quality and all that good stuff. I'm planning on around $160 a square foot for this, probably be a little bit below that, but I'll be asking about $219,000. When I recomp this property, when I run my comparable sales, depending on what's been going on, I may go a little bit higher. I'm always trying to provide the best product at the best price. If it looks like I can get $229, I'll give it a shot. All right, but I'm really expecting about $219. Now remember, I said you can plug into trustee sales. It's just not the place to start. In that program, where I would like to refer to it as the wholesale buying. I will sell some of my properties wholesale. Rather than what I'm doing here, I fixed it all up, and I'm going to go retail, on the retail market. Looking for that buyer that, probably going to have to get a loan. It might be FHA or VA or otherwise. But I'm going to go for that retail sale. I like to wholesale properties from time to time to other investors. So just to give you an example of what could have happened on this property, I just ran some quick numbers. By me paying $159 and fixing this property up and selling it, I'm looking at around a $32,000 profit on this property. I know when you say you pay $159 and sell it for $219, it sounds like there's more, and that's a basic mistake that rookies make. They think that they're capturing a lot of equity when they capture just a little bit. They think they're going to make a profit, and they don't. What the rookie doesn't know, or the beginner, and sometimes even the intermediate, they're not aware of what I call industry problems right now. There's a lot of things going on that are going to cost you more money in this marketplace. That's the other reason why I don't want to stop doing transactions. I can't teach you the current things that are going on if I'm not currently doing transactions. As you know, I have about 17 transactions going right now. This is just one of them. But to give you an example of what could happen under the wholesale program and the retail program, I'm looking for a $32,000 profit. So, in real estate, there's 2 golden rules, right? Always costs you a little more than you thought, and it always takes a little bit longer. So it's going to be around $30,000 profit on this property. If things for some reason were to go bad, and I had to lower the price and say go $2,099, then it still should be around a $20,000 profit on a $159,000 investment. Not a big profit, but it's decent and it's a good ratio. So looking back at my planned ratios, if I did get 219 for this, and I have a spreadsheet in here that calculates all this, but I also have the comparable sales. We're going to do another video on running comps, so I'll show you how I do that, how I came up with these numbers. But anyways, with a $32,000 profit, I'm looking at a margin. You know, we talked about margins before, but a fair market margin in this business is about 15%. Meaning that whatever that 219,900 times 15% is roughly $30,000, $32,000. So I'm making what's fair for this marketplace. I'm giving myself a safety net in case I have to lower the price. I should still be profitable. My return on investment, ROI, is about 11% on this property. All right, that's pretty much with everything. I buy the property, I fix it up, I sell it, and after all the expenses, I end up with that profit of about 11% return on my investment. Now let's say I could use that same block of money 3 times per year and earn about the same. You're looking at 33% on your money. You know, if somebody told me they could make me 32% or 33% of my money safely, I wouldn't really believe it. But I understand in real estate, the way I work it, I'm risking the $159,000 3 times. I'm not risking 159 times 3, right? It's risking it 3 different times, hoping to make about these returns. You can turn this money 3 times a year, even in the what I call industry problems that are causing us to hold these properties longer than we should. And we'll talk about that in another video. If we didn't have those problems, we could probably turn that money 4 times per year, making around 10 or 11%, 12%, 4 times. Now you're starting to get in some very significant returns. Now, we're working for that. We're doing our job here. It's not like it's just easy, but you do have to know what you're doing, understand values, understand the methods in buying properties wholesale, finding out what's working in your area, and then going for it. So back to the example of how you could have plugged into this deal as a rookie. Remember, I don't believe you should be down there risking your money at the courthouse steps. That's a very advanced technique. It's for people who've done lots of transactions. If you were to go there and watch people, what you should know is everybody there that's a pro has bought and sold more than 100 houses. All right? They belong there. That's their thing. I've done over 1,000. There's people down there who've done far more than I have. You know, some of those folks do 100 deals a year. So you need to watch out. We like to refer to them as sharks, and they will feed on you if they get a chance. But remember I said you could plug into them. If you have enough knowledge to tell them what you want, if you have enough knowledge to raise the cash so that you're a cash buyer, there are folks down there, just like I would, which would wholesale you some of these properties. Now why would they do that? Why would they take a small profit in a short period of time versus do what this is going to be about 4 months, 5 months and make $30,000? The reason is they already have their research done. They have a team that's doing these deals. They already know that if you paid them cash for this property, if you paid me cash for this, and gave me a small profit in a short period of time by buying it from me with cash, instead of me making my 11% return over 4 or 5 months, if I made a 5, 6, or 7% return in 2 weeks, all right, that's what the time period would be. You'd have to have your act together, your cash together, and I would want you to close this escrow within 48 hours of after me getting my trustee's deed. I usually get that deed in 7 to 10 days. We would already have an escrow opened. In this particular example, if I paid $159 and you paid me, say, $7,000 or $8,000 on top of that, so maybe $165, $166, $167 in that area, we would agree. It all depends on the amount of work that would be required. And the neat thing about doing it this way is during that time that I'm waiting for that deed, you can do your due diligence. Remember, I bought this property without knowing what was inside. You know, I spent $11,000 or $12,000 in here in repairs. I had to guess that amount. I have the experience to do that. It would be dangerous for you to do that. But during that 7 to 10 days, if I knew you were a wholesale buyer, you were starting out, you knew what you were doing, you had decent training, my videos, I would do this transaction with you and I would get you inside. If you have a contractor you're working with, you can get your estimate. I just want you to have money in escrow or not do the deal. I just need an answer within about 5, 6 days. Then I know then we can have an escrow open. You can put your money in. If you have an investor, there's going to be a note and deed of trust. Watch that video. Drawn up for your investor. You're going to be the owner. You're going to owe that investor money, but you have all that equity that you're capturing. All right, if you get to pay $165 to $167 for this, I make a small profit fast, and I'm going to go ahead and look for the next transaction. You're going to make a profit. It's going to take you a few months to do it. Like I said, usually 3 months, 4 months, depending on the situation. But you're going to have your guy do the work, or maybe you're doing it on your own at this point. You're then going to make that profit. When you're done, the investor gets paid off, everything gets paid off, and you get the profit. You're going to come back to me having a successful transaction. I'm going to want to sell you another one. Do you see how that works? I would rather sell 4 houses to you, 1 a quarter, than to sell 4 houses to individuals on the retail market in some cases. Because it takes less time. I don't put up with some of the problems that you are going to inherit. Remember, you're buying a job, but if you know what you're doing, you're going to know how to do that job and get paid. Alright, so that's how you would plug into the trustee sales. If you find that of the 14 techniques in your area, there's not very many of them working yet in this marketplace. They will in the future, and I'll show you how to find out when that is. But if you found out you needed to plug into the trustee sales, that's the way to do it. To have good communication skills, have your money lined up, and be able to know values well enough that none of the sharks down there take advantage of you. You know, if I sold you this house too high, you wouldn't make a profit, and you wouldn't come back. Now, you'll see in all my videos, I'm always about win-win. But there are many down there that would love to have you pay too much for this property. You do all that work, and you break even, or you lose money. You'll never go back to them for another transaction, so they always have to find new buyers. That's a lot of work. I would rather help you win, then I win, and then we both win again multiple times in the future. I have several investors that bought 3, 4, and 5 properties from me. So we're winning. So that's what we like to do. It's called the win-win concept, right? I think it's the best way to do real estate. So let's go take a look at the rest of this house. Basically, all we had to do was this floor, the cleanup. 3 bedrooms got carpeted, but the rest has a nice wood or wood laminate style of floor in here, and it worked out pretty good. We also, of course, shot paint. You'll notice in here we went with a similar color to what was here, but in the rest of the house you're going to see a paint scheme that I'm using all the time now. It seems to be popular with buyers, and that's another great point. You're going to learn what works for your buyers. So let's just go take a look. You'll notice in here this particular color, kind of a beige. Some people refer to it as coffee and cream. We're doing the baseboards. If there were crown moldings, they would be done in white as well. But we're trying to give it a real clean, sharp look. You know, we believe clean and neat is what sells. This property does have a fireplace, which is kind of nice. We also tend to use this kind of carpet. It seems to be popular with the buyers right now. And if you were keeping a property for a rental, that's a decent carpet to use as well. It doesn't show stains very well, so it's pretty good. We did do basic window furnishings. We like to use the vertical blinds. If we ever do, I don't think we had to do these, but when we do closet doors, we like to do the mirrored doors. Kind of gives the room a bigger feel. I think these were already here, we just had to rehang them. Okay, so real basic, neat and clean sells every time. Always providing the best product at the best price. This will go on the market in a couple of days. And usually my properties sell pretty quick. So we'll see how we do with this one. So that's pretty much it. We made it clean and neat. We paid $159. We're hoping for $219.9 on the regular market. If somebody was interested in a wholesale purchase on this one, remember that would have been as is, where is when I got it. But they would have got to see it. They would have got to get title insurance, all the things I didn't get by buying this the riskiest way there is. Of all the methods, trustee sales are the riskiest. Don't do those until you're ready. All right? Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next video.